Hey guys, welcome to the final part of Spyro the Dragon. We're at the big boss, the end of the game. We're at Gah-nasty Gah-norc, baby. Sorry, I'm just getting excited. Let's do it. Alright, so first things first, we'll get gems. If you're doing a 100% run through of this, it's kind of anticlimactic because you're at the final boss of the game and you're like, we're gonna fight the big boss, except we're not gonna do that first. We're gonna get all the gems here first because he stole all of them and that's not okay. So, get the gems first, they're scattered throughout the first room. After that, we're gonna find these thieves that are holding these keys. They're locating it in these hallways. I'm not entirely sure where that one went. There it is. There's a green one here that has a key to the door, which will unlock another door, which will unlock Gah-nasty Gah-norc. So, just chase after them as quick as you can. They're not crazy fast or anything. I think the most laps I've had to do to get those is like 2 or something like that. So, as soon as you see them, just run after them. The only problem with that, though, is if you're trying to get all the gems here, which I'm trying to do, it's kind of tricky because you got to make sure you get all the gems that you run across and stuff like that. So, and if you miss one, you got to go all the way back. So what I like to do is I just go for the gems first, and on the second lap, that's when I actually try to catch up to the guy. So, hey guys, this is it, the final confrontation. We're at the end of the game, and may I say, Gah-nasty Gah-norc's boss theme is so good, like absolute banger. It's just like, one thing Copeland gets so much right in this game that kind of lost its way in the second and third games is the intro for each song. Each song in this game begins with a drum beat or some kind of intro, you know? Some of them are like 2 seconds, some of them are like 5. But most of them have to do with drums. And man, the beginning drum intro of this song is just so good, and just the song itself is awesome. And I also did a poll on this a couple months ago, I think, and the majority of you voted, I think, Ripto's Arena for the best final boss theme of the original trilogy. I chose Gah-nasty Gah-norc, of course, because Spyro 1's the best soundtrack ever. But yeah, such a good song, so great. In terms of the boss itself, he's really easy. Basically, you're in like this lap and close the loop thing, and you just gotta catch up to him before he reaches a certain destination. If you don't catch up to him in time, as soon as he reaches that first destination, I would say you have like at least 3 seconds to catch up to him before he starts another lap again. So make sure you catch up into him in time, because if you don't, you see here, had I not done that in time, he would have just kept going forward, and you would have had to do that whole lap over again, so that's not fun. And then at the end here, you have a platforming challenge, basically. You just have to glide across these these platforms that are disappearing under your feet, and it's pretty intense. I don't think I've ever died here, at least not that I can remember, so as long as you keep moving forward, just time your glides well, you should be able to have just enough leg room to make it to him and flame him.
You're toast, Norc. Sorry I took so long. I kind of forgot about you.
What about Gah-nasty Gah-norc?
Gah-nasty Gah-norc is toast.
So now there's order again in the Dragon Kingdom?
Well, mostly. I've still got some treasure to pick up.
What will you do next?
I'd say the sky's the limit.
That's it, guys. We're done with Spyro the Dragon, except we're not done with Spyro the Dragon. Every time I play these games, I always do 100% run-throughs, just because that's how I feel like the games were meant to be played and stuff like that. So, it's actually kind of boring if you try to play these games with not getting anything. It's like, the point of the game is to collect things, so it only makes sense that you collect everything. So, with that being said, we're going to skip this first credit sequence. We're going to save it for when we actually get 100% completion, so skip. Alright guys, and we're back. But what's this? One more dragon. And one last gem. I was missing that earlier. I had no idea why it just disappeared from me, but there it is. We got all the gems in the game.
Gnasty's ancient history now. So, what's in there?
I believe this is Gnasty's treasure hoard. But the gate will not open until you have found everything in the Dragon Kingdom. Come back when you have reached 100%.
Which we just did by picking up that last 10 gem. Seriously, I have no idea what happened there, but we did it, guys. 100%! 80 dragons, 12,000 gems. Absolutely insane, which means the last 2,000 are in here. So this level is pretty much a free roam level where you can fly infinitely with no limit, and your objective is to get as much treasure as you can. And honestly, I think it's a really fun incentive for you to get 100% in this game, because you've already done a bunch of collecting by this point, you know, so might as well do some more. And I would say it's pretty satisfying. I think it's a lot of fun, actually. If a little tedious at points, which we'll get to later, but I think it's a really pretty fun last level. I would say Super Bonus Round in Spyro 3 is probably the best one, at least in my opinion. But for a first impression, I think this is really good. So what I like to do is, well, obviously when you first start it, there's only a certain altitude that you can go to when you're flying around. The only way to get higher up is to get the keys, and to get those keys, there's some thieves running around, and once you get the keys, you unlock the door, and your altitude increases, basically. So what I like to do first is try to comb as much of the area as you can until you can't find any more gems, and then you get to the gates, unlock the door, and look, staircase, higher altitude. That's how it works. There's some chests around here with the firework things that you have to ignite. I think most of those you can only get at the higher altitude. Right now we're on like altitude 2. I'll just call them by numbers, I guess. Altitude 2, there's another thief here. You gotta get that one. Really easy. Yeah, guys, since we're at the final level, I guess I'll explain my experience with this game and how I first encountered it. I believe I explained this at an earlier part, but it doesn't hurt to explain it again, I guess. I was about 5 years old or so. My family and I would go to Puerto Rico every summer just to get this game, and well, no, we wouldn't go to Puerto Rico just for this game. That'd be funny. But we went to Puerto Rico for every summer vacation for about 6 years or so, and every time I would go, I'd go to my aunt's house. And what was cool about my aunt's house is that her daughters, which are my cousins, they were really into video games. By that point, they had the original PlayStation, and they also had a Game Boy Advance. So they had PlayStation 1 games and Game Boy Advance games, and by that point in my life, that's when I was really starting to get into the video game craze. My first consoles ever were the PlayStation 1 and Game Boy Advance, so they have a special place in my heart, especially when it comes to these games. My cousin at my aunt's house, the PlayStation belonged to her, and the only game that she had on it was this one, Spyro the Dragon. And what made this game unique for me is that Spyro the Dragon actually wasn't my first video game. My first video game was Spyro 3. And the reason I had that game was because my uncle gifted me a PlayStation 1 for me to have. And the first game he gave me for it was Spyro 3, and that's how I played that game. But what made Spyro 1 very unique for me is that I would never really get to play this game all that often. Like I said, the only time I ever got to do that was at my aunt's house. And every time I would play it, I would just be so, like, I don't know what the word is for it, just like enchanted. Like, there were all these worlds that I had never explored before, all these worlds that I wouldn't be able to explore, that I had a limited time to explore, because I wouldn't be staying at Puerto Rico for too long. I would only stay there for about 2 months. And I would only be at my aunt's house for about a week or two. Because every other time that I was in Puerto Rico, I'd just stay at my grandma's house. But, so yeah, I never really got to play this game. So every chance I got that I go into my aunt's house, I'd put this game in, and I started playing, and it was just so awesome because there are all these worlds that weren't in Spyro 3, and to me this was like the best game ever, you know, because back when I was a kid I would just think that the first game of any franchise was like the best one because it had the most edgy levels and the cool music and crazy locations and stuff like that. So that's how I always looked at Spyro 1, and even like the box art for Spyro 1 is probably my favorite out of all the box arts and stuff. It's just super nostalgic to me because that case, the original PS1 case, I would only see at my aunt's house, and every time I'd see it, I just get really excited, you know. So, but that's my story with this game. Eventually, obviously I was a kid, never got to beat it. I'd only get as far as like Magic Crafters, I think. That's probably the furthest I ever got with this game as a kid. It wasn't until later when I was like in high school that I asked for this game for, I believe it was my birthday. Yeah, actually, yes, yeah. I asked for this game for my birthday along with Spyro 2 and Spyro 3, and I was able to beat it for the first time, and it was great. It was awesome. It was everything I hoped it would be, and though it's not my favorite Spyro game, that comes later. My favorite Spyro game is Spyro 3, but it was such a cool experience playing this game for the first time, 100%ing it for the first time. Not gonna lie though, there's a lot of places in this game where finding the gems are super difficult, most of which were in Dry Canyon and like some of the levels in Peacekeepers and stuff like that. But for everything that I just couldn't muster up the strength to find out, obviously I had to look up because by this point in time I know how to use the internet. So, but I only had to do that like once or twice. I think one of them was like for Treetops or something like that. Treetops is a very hard level, guys. For your first playthrough. Second playthrough, it's probably the best level in this game. At least that's my opinion. But I'm really sorry that I'm explaining this story as I'm trying to get this last thief here that's flying around. For some reason, I don't know why, every time I play this game, this thief always gives me a hard time, and I don't understand why. I've had playthroughs of this game where I would get the thief like first try, and I have other playthroughs of this game where I spend like 15 minutes trying to get it, like there, and then don't understand. So what you're supposed to do is, the thief is on the top there. You're not supposed to go all the way to the top and then follow it down. What you're supposed to do is stay down, and then the thief comes down to you, and by that point you have just enough speed to get to him, and yeah, that way you're not scrounging around forever like I did. Initially, I haven't looked at this footage since I recorded it, which was like 3 weeks ago or something, so I completely forgot that I spent that that long amount of time trying to get that thief. So, but I think it worked out because it allowed me to explain my history with the game and stuff like that. So, which I'm sure you guys will enjoy. But yeah, so I got that thief, and get these last chests here, and then the most satisfying room in this game. I'm not even kidding you, it's super cool. But we gotta fly up to it first. So I think it's up here actually. At least I hope so. I know there's a gate in here, right? Oh no, probably not. Here we go. Blast it all, at least 2 of them, and then just watch it all explode, and it's so great. It's awesome. All these 25 gems, super satisfying, man. Like, incredible. After we get all those gems, that's it, guys. Like, that's every gem in the game. That's every dragon in the game. And to commemorate, we got a picture of Nasty Gah-norc here, which we'll see in a bit. But really cool. Love watching the counter go up. That's something they didn't bring back for the other games, which is a shame. But 2,000 gems, baby. Let's go! It's a portrait of Nasty Gah-norc, which looks nothing like the in-game model, at least not to me. But that's it, guys. Let's return home. Let's get out of here. We got 120% in Spyro 1. So good.
Spyro the Dragon, you've defeated Gah-nasty Gah-norc, collected the dragon eggs, saved all the dragons, and recovered every bit of treasure in the Dragon Kingdom. How do you feel?
I feel fired up, Bob. And I'm happy for the dragon world, of course. I certainly wouldn't want to spend the rest of my dragon days butting heads with Nasty Gah-norc and his weird minions.
What's a minion?
Never mind. You know what they say. For every good battle, you need a good adversary. And I felt that Gnasty, in spite of his misguided nature, was a worthy opponent. Uh-oh. Here we go again!
What's funny about that last cutscene is that even though some more dragons got crystallized, we're not going to be seeing that concept again in the future games. It's more like oh haha, he's at it again, you know, like those old comic books and stuff like that. But that's it, guys. Spyro 1 completed 120%. Hope you guys enjoyed the playthrough. It was a long time coming. I started this playthrough, I think, like, year and a half ago? 2 years? I don't know how long it was since I think I only did like 3 parts or something. But we reached the end, we did it, and now I get to edit all these together and post it for you guys to enjoy. So, honestly, guys, I don't have much else to say. This game is incredible. If you haven't played the game already, please do. It's so good. I know a lot of people out there are saying that Crash is the de facto mascot of the PlayStation 1 era, but to me, in my heart, it was always Spyro the Dragon. These games are just timeless, the graphics are incredible, the music is so enjoyable, and if anything, I think both Spyro and Crash were the de facto mascots of the PlayStation 1 era. They just go well together, and they're both incredible game franchises that kicked off really well, so... But yeah, awesome game, incredible. If you haven't played it, go play it. So, with that said, my name is 3Godzilla3, and I hope to see you guys in the next playthrough. Take care.